Actually, we are a startup. We created it since 3 years ago, and we organize event for coders, so mostly mobile programmers and web developers. We also organize the HTML5 Berlin user group that occurred last Monday. And well, during this meetup, it's the HTML5 bug. It's mostly talk, presentation. So we decided to go a bit to a upper level, to a high skill level, in proposing this Berlin Android Livecode meetup. So as I told you, it's the first edition. So I'm happy you all came and welcome. Thanks also to Wooga to host the meetup. And that's it. Just some word about well, some stuff I would like to talk to you about before Tim and Cesar, which are just here, they are going to Livecode. There is, at the same time in London, an Android Livecode meetup. So we decided with my colleague Claire to make a battle. So there is a bottle of wine to win. Sorry to do a gift, not that really related to digital or anything, but I think a bottle of wine is still good, and I will have to choose a good wine. So there is a bottle of wine to win if when you have to take a photo. And you have to, well, the most retweeted photo of the meetup, including 3 hashtags, so Berlin, Android, and Battle, will win the bottle. And in front, we have the London community. So there are, I think, almost the same number than here. And they, of course, they are going to challenge. So please, but just start to tweet and get as many retweets as you can. That's pretty it. Also, well, as I told you, sorry, this is... as I told you, yeah, we organize events in Berlin, well, in Paris, in London, and in San Francisco also. And the next one, the next big event is for Android developers. So this is the Android Code Fest, sponsored by Intel. It's on November 9th. It's happening at Co-op. And the idea is to port NDK application, well, ARM-based NDK application to x86. So x86 processor is have been made by Intel. And so basically the planning of this day is we open at 2, we have a workshop of 2 hours on how to port NDK application from ARM to x86. And after that, there is a portathon, so a challenge on porting your app, which starts the same day. And the 31st team who port the app will win tablets and Ouya. This is the first thing. After that, after this day, we open the whole challenge to Germany. So all the editors, even from the countryside, can take part of it. And there is a whole challenge with all the team together. And there is 2 invitations to Mobile World Congress to win, with a trip, go and back, hotel included. So, well, anyway, I already shared the link of the event on the meetup. Well, it's actually quite easy, androidcodefest.bemyapp.com. You just register. Of course, it's all free. And hello, how are you? And that's it. That's pretty it. If you need more information, you can send me an email. I also share my email on the meetup. So it's Alexandre, so D-R-E at the end, like the French name, and at bemyapp.com. So, Tim, are you ready? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to let Tim start. Wow. Please, during the live coding session, feel free to ask questions. And after the talk, we will we'll have beer and pizza at the canteen. So that's it. Here you are. I don't know how you. Yes.
Is this okay? All right, so thanks for having me. Actually, I was not the speaker that was supposed to stand here. They wanted to have Ramzi from IM, but he said that he doesn't want to come. No, I'm kidding. He's ill, I think. He's having a flu or a cold or whatever, but he's too weak. So I have to take care of this, but I think we'll be fine. So my name is Tim Messerschmidt. I'm one of the developer evangelists for PayPal in Europe, and today I'm going to show you quickly how to integrate the PayPal Android SDK, and I basically go through the whole story, through the whole pain of implementing something with you guys. So our starting point would be developer.paypal.com as a website, which you find over here. We go to documentation. It's amazingly fast. Is Ulf still there? Ah, there. Is the AirPlay Wi-Fi faster or is the Wooga Wi-Fi faster? AirPlay, all right. So I'm already on the fast network. Sorry for that. We go directly to GitHub. Wow, that's fast. Let's try this for a try. All right, this looks much better. Ignore the private stuff. So if you go over to github.com/PayPal, you find tons of open source that we do, also including our Android SDK. So we just go to the project. We see it got just literally a few days ago bumped up to version 1.1. We download a zip file over here. We're going to open that thing. And I think we should have a look in that. So going into that folder, you see we have a sample app in there, of course, our open source recommendations and acknowledgements, and this wonderful folder over here, libs. You see we have a jar file in there, which is our SDK, and also we've got native libraries. So these binaries over here are being used for a functionality that we call card.io. Anybody here knowing card.io? All right, that's great. So let's have a quick look at card.io. It's a startup that we acquired last year, and they do an amazing credit card scanning technology. Oh my God, and a spammy website. So what they do is basically, they have this component where you have your camera, you put a credit card in front of it, and it reads the digits. So instead of you entering that thing and making lots of mistakes because of entering data usually being very difficult, you just scan that thing and it's done. And this is also available, obviously, in our iOS SDK. So we've got the libs folder, we've got an empty project over here. And what we do is we take this libs folder and copy it in here. Who of you guys uses PayPal? All right, that's good. That's good. Nearly everybody. Thank you. So another question. Who of you guys uses Android Studio or IntelliJ? Who still uses Eclipse? I see why. Because Android Studio is amazing and also incredibly painful. I've been working with Eclipse for 8 years. So for me, changing over to Android Studio is actually quite painful, since all the shortcuts that I'm used to, everything that I basically have inbuilt mechanic in me, doesn't work anymore. And sadly, one of the things that really annoys me is that Gradle as a build system doesn't support the native files. So anything that you would use with Java native interface, JNI, is not going to be packaged in the application right now. So I can only show you the PayPal component of our SDK, not the card scanning thing. It works perfectly fine with Eclipse. I just don't have it installed on this machine. So how do you do that? I think, is this the renaming thing in...
Packaging in a jar, you zip it up, rename it to .jar, and then you do like the compile with Gradle, and it works.
So let's have a look. So the other thing that we are going to do is we are pushing an Android archive file to the Maven Central in a few weeks, and then it's actually done because we pre-compile it nicely. But let's have a look at your fix. So, oh, come on. He's having this really smart moment like, I know it, and then he's not coming to help me. All right. So I actually read on the Google issues list, there is something about it. I think you have to take each of those folders like AmiAbi, x86, and that stuff. You need to compress that, and then you need to rename it from .zip into .jar, and then it somehow works. All right. Okay, so we added this. So what I'm going to do is I just add this as a library. And since IntelliJ or Android Studio uses Gradle to build the final application, we have to edit the dependencies. Something goes wrong. Oh, all right. We have to move it a bit, I guess.
Yep.
All right. So whenever you want to use Gradle as a build system, you have to pass the jar files or the folder where the jars are inherited. So we just do that. This is, in our case, PayPal Android SDK.jar, nothing really fancy. You see that in here. So that's the Gradle file. And I think we should start with the manifest file. Our SDK uses two hardware features, camera and vibration, and also autofocus. And also we need permissions. So let's start with the permissions. So the first permission that we are going to use is the most obvious permission, internet. Who of you forgets to use the internet permission with the first run of the app and it crashes? Or who of you knows that? I think every Android developer had that at some point in his life. He used to click on run and the app crashed, and for no obvious reason, you go into the hi. You go into the lockhut and you see the Android permission internet is missing. So that's what I always add first, just to make sure this guy doesn't screw me up again. So as I said, we use the camera and we use a vibrate. Can you guys actually read that? Is the resolution okay? I think so, right? And also we want to know the Wi-Fi state and the network state. All right, so we've got all permissions covered. Let's go for the features. So this is just very easy. This is Android hardware camera. We set required to false because people might use a tablet which doesn't have a camera or some crappy feature from China. So I always recommend to set this to false. Also for devices like Google TVs, you need to do this because otherwise the Android market or Play Store is going to filter your application out and people cannot use it, which is highly annoying. So also let's do autofocus on here. Same story. Some code formatting, right, that is nice. And now we need to add some activities, but since I'm really lazy, I just copy-paste them in. So what you see is we've got the PayPal service over there. That's something running in the background, taking care of the HTTP communication and things like that. The payment activity, which actually is going to show our payment. Login, quite obvious. Then we have payment method activity, which lets you choose between the credit card flow and the PayPal account flow. And the confirm activity, again, quite obvious. And card.io activity is this one native guy, which we cannot demonstrate today, which does the credit card scanning. So I think we should define one amazing UI. And amazing UIs always begin with an image view. Today we're going to buy some coffee. Yep. And obviously I've got that graphic in my folder already, which is my drawable coffee. And that's my image view. So you also already see my wonderful Starbucks coffee over here. And since user experience matters and lots of countries like Germany tell you to show the final price because before you go to the checkout, we need to add the price over here. So let's go for a simple text view. So Starbucks coffee in Germany should be something like $2.99 Americano. Who's a Starbucks guy? Who knows that? No? Higher? Lower? He says it's all right. I'm going to blame you if it's not right. All right, and come on, let's center this guy just to make it a bit nicer. No, I think it must be Android gravity. All right, and the last thing is obviously a button. Our button will have this amazing, nice text, pay. And we use something which I really like. That's the Android on-click declaration for on-click listeners. Who uses that? So instead of setting on-click listeners programmatically, you can also do that in the UI file. It's supported beginning with Android 1.6, and it helps to keep out all those crappy on-click listeners in your Java code. It's just a much cleaner way to actually do that. I like it a lot. I heard some people had issues with ProGuard messing up the on-click listeners if they do it. So it makes sense to double check it. All right, so doing a quick preview. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I think this is the nicest e-commerce integration that I did for years. And we just go into the code to actually have a look at what it has to be done. So the nice thing is Android Studio actually supports generating this. There we go. So you just have to define the method that you're going to use as public void. And one thing that I always forgot if I do this manually is actually passing the view as an argument. You don't really do anything with that view, you just have to do it. All right. One more method that we are going to use is onDestroy. And now we define three constants. So one is our environment, which is going to be payment activity. Oops. There we go. So you can actually do different environments to test your code. And obviously, you should define it as a string. We've got no network, which is something like a mock-up stage. So you can just enter anything, and it'll work. We've got the sandbox, which is a testing environment. So you can create a real-life mirroring environment, create accounts. You can log into these accounts and check out how it would be like for the user to pay. You can choose different payment methods, and it really helps with testing. I saw people that don't know about this, and they do €1 transactions or $1 transactions for testing and refund them all the time. So they pay, refund, and they do that the whole day. It's annoying. So we actually have something about that. If you work with the sandbox or live, you need a client ID. You get the client ID over at developer.paypal.com. So let's see if the site loads. You log in with your PayPal credentials. You are allowed to send me money to this account. So this is actually another nice product which you can use for mobile called Login with PayPal. I heard other companies have a quite equal product. And what we do is we go to Applications. There we go. And you see, I actually love to create new applications. And each and every application has two different sets of credentials. One time the sandbox credentials or test credentials, and one time the live credentials, which should be shown in a few seconds. Ta-da. Wow, my CSS is messed up for some reason. But you see here, test credentials, client ID, and live credentials with a client ID. But since we don't really use any real environment, we enter something like my awesome credentials. And we have to define a receiver, which is going to be me at unicornsrock.com. All right. So I told you guys that there's a receiver that you need to define. And basically, we have to communicate with our service through intents. So we just define a new intent going to the PayPal service, and we put extras in there. So these are quite obvious. We put the environment in there. Also, we put the client ID in there. And the last thing is going to be the receiver. And we just start this. Because we're nice and people hate if something runs in the background and sucks up the battery, in onDestroy, in this activity, we actually stop this service. So this is this part. So every time I open this activity, the PayPal service gets started. Every time I close it, it dies. That makes sense. And we start our payments integration. So a PayPal payment is basically quite easy on mobile. It's an amount, it's the currency, and a description. And the amount is going to be an object big decimal. So let's do $2.99. And the description is my awesome coffee. And obviously it makes sense to give it a name. Now we have to use, again, this intent. So just copy this guy, put it in here. And this time it has to go to the payment activity. And we just need to put two more extras. One is the extra payment. So our intent basically uses the PayPal payment, which is having the parsable interface. So actually all those details, like the currency, the amount, and the description, can be passed in this intent, and our activity knows what to do with it. So let's put the payment over here. And last but not least, we can define something that we call the payer ID. And this one should be unique for your application because this helps. It should be unique for a single user in your whole application. And it helps to re-recognize this one user. So the next time he doesn't have to enter his PayPal address again, or you can remember which payment method he shows. That's quite nice. So let's be really creative. My awesome unicorn user 666. And since we want to make sure that we use a very Android way to do this, we use start activity for result. We pass this intent and a request code again 666. So this is sending our payment, but obviously we want to get something back like, did the user cancel, did he pay, what happened? So we just check if the request code is 666, and if that's the case, we use a switch case over the result code. And we have several cases. The first case is going to be payment activity result OK. That's what every activity always has. Then we have case payment activity result cancelled. Again, break, and case payment activity, and now this one is really nice. Payment invalid, and it basically means you cannot code. Because the only case where it really happens is if you didn't read the documentation and you passed two currencies, the amount is actually not an amount, things like that. So if you get to this point, then you messed up, like me. And so we just want to show a toast if this works. So let's show hell yeah. So who knows working with toast and actually forgetting to call show? This guy nods. Happened to me all the time. All right. And now we say user cancelled. So we should have everything in place. We've got our amazing UI. As you can see, we've got all the code in place. I should hopefully have each and every required permission. Let's give this a try. I'm using, obviously, the Intel x86 emulator, just to do some nice advertisement for those guys. It's so much faster than anything else that we had before. I'm so happy with that. I used to work with Android since version 1.1, I think, 1.1, Brownie. And actually, it was annoying. The emulator used to crash. It was really slow. Did anyone use the Honeycomb emulator, 3.0? That was the slowest ever. So actually, it didn't really work on any machine. And then finally, I think with 4.01 or 4.0, Intel was so nice to publish their nice x86 emulator, which really works nicely. So it should hopefully start up in a few seconds. Ta-da. Amazing UI. I still love it. Let's try it. All right, that worked. So this is where you choose how to pay. So as I told you, you can pay with cards. That doesn't work in every country because we don't support credit card payments. I just show you how the manual flow would work. This is manual, so you can actually enter credit card details manually, which is slightly annoying because nobody likes to enter these things. And if I would be able to bundle the native libraries, I could show you the scanner, which I can't. So let's go to PayPal. Since this is the mock or no network mode, I enter any password. Click on login. And I can actually now choose to stay logged in over here. So let's click on send payment. It worked. And now if I click on pay again, it authenticates me manually, so I don't have to go into that. And it works again. And if we now click on cancel, I get canceled and all those events, so that really helps me to interact with my user. And if the user canceled, maybe my amount is too big, maybe he just doesn't want to work with me anymore, but it really helps you doing stuff like Google Analytics. So usually if you work with users on mobile applications, on web, you want to measure the conversion. Who knows conversion? I hope everybody. All right, conversion means we turn a visitor into a paying user or into somebody who really does something with you. So for us, conversion rate is really important, so that's why we skip the login after the user chose to stay logged in. It really helps to speed things up. That's rule of thumb in the whole e-commerce scene. If it's fast, it's amazing and people like it. So, security. Yeah, so obviously security is a big thing and it needs to be considered for that. If you pay with PayPal, you still get an email actually saying you just paid with PayPal. So if somebody stole your phone, which hopefully doesn't happen, but it happens, you should still get the email address if somebody uses the Starbucks application and drinks Starbucks coffee for you. Nicely enough, this is only affecting one application. So if somebody steals your phone and he's a huge Starbucks fan, you're running into trouble. So you actually have to change your PayPal password, and then he's de-authenticated from the app. And also you can get a refund for this 1 cup of coffee. If somebody doesn't like Starbucks, you might actually don't really know it, but you might still be interested in changing all your passwords anyway because you just stole your phone. So I cannot recommend losing your phone. So you don't have a list of connected devices. You have your password, and every time somebody tries to log in with your account, it checks the password, right? So we don't store the authentication part. We store the username and password. So it tries to log in, and if that doesn't work for various reasons, our system blocks this anyway. And no, so for exactly that reason, if somebody logs into the Starbucks thing, he might want to use one account, maybe for another app, another account. So I do that with eBay with my wife. We have a shared PayPal account that we use for that shopping. I have my private one for my demos. But we are actually considering doing these things, but it would need a special agreement from the user. So he needs to confirm again that he really wants to do that. It's the same thing like actually using the PayPal app and forwarding the request of paying into the app. That would work. So we could actually do something like Facebook does with the login thing. It has advantages, like users always know it's one secure application, and it has also the disadvantages. So every time you actually make it easier and faster for somebody to pay, you have to shift the risk from the client to the backend side, which we do. So that's why we do live risk analysis. That's why we do things like sending emails anyway. So lots of people use SMS authentication for payments. There is several things that you can actually do to secure this even more. Because the session ID would only work for one session, right? So this one is going to be voided after a few hours. So it's not going to exist forever in this app. Yeah. I would say it is. I mean, if you look at all those different X, Y got hacked things, we were never under this list so far. So fingers crossed our security guys know what to do. More questions regarding that? All right, so I actually have to mention, Alexander never really told me until, I think, Saturday, that I have to speak here. So I didn't prepare a shit. I hope that you guys liked it. How much time do I have left? I think I'm done, right? All right, thank you. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm here for maybe a few more minutes, so you can have my card. I'm happy to have a chat. Thanks.
Yes, I didn't even precise it at the introduction, but yeah, Ramsey couldn't make it from IIM because he had a cold. So he told me like 5 days ago exactly. So it was last Thursday, maybe, well, or Friday, and so that's why I was just. As I met Tim in your PayPal meetup, was a month ago. Yeah, so I think that would be a good alternative, and it was. So thank you very much, Tim. Welcome to all who arrive a bit late. So yeah, basically it's now Cesar from 6 Wunderkinder who is going to Livecode. Same format than Tim. Please just ask a question if you are interested in something, if something is not that clear for you. This is the idea also of the live coding. You know, you can always ask during the coding session. And that's pretty it. Did you guys send some nice tweet or not really? No, it's not. Well, okay, I just try. Next time, I will try another challenge on QR code. Maybe some of you using QR code. No, okay. No Twitter, no QR code. Okay, Facebook then. No, okay, I'm joking. All right, Cesar, can I put you the mic? Yeah. It's like you're becoming the king.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
Okay, fine, so 45 minutes for you.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so this is the presentation I'm going to show. Is creating and monitoring geofences. So all the material that I'm going to use is licensed under public open source license. So for instance, the slides are released under Common Attribution Share Alike, Creative Commons. A bit of me, I'm Cesar Valiente, this is my Twitter. I'm Android engineer at 6 Wunderkinder, so we are the makers of Wunderlist. Maybe you know, maybe not, I don't know. So we are here. This is the application that we create. It's a multi-platform application. It's a yeah, exactly. Who knows? Oh. Okay. I'm a floss lover, so everything that I do by myself, I try to release under open source license. Also, at 6 Wunderkinder, we try do it when we can. So, for instance, we have a library released under Apache license, is the sliding layer. So, you know this, this view. And I'm a community guy. I'm here, so yeah, I like this.
What is a floss lover exactly?
Oh yeah, floss lover is a term. Is free libre open source software. So it's to avoid the misunderstood between free and libre. Free as beer, no, as freedom, or yeah. So it's another term. I like this term because it's I don't know. I'm from Spain, so it's libre. Okay, what is geofencing? Geofencing is like an API that Google released this year in the Google I/O. It's a way to combine your location with to create an area defined by latitude, longitude, and the radius, and tries to when you enter or you exit from this area, then you have like an intent, or something. Yeah, it's an intent. But you have a way to you have an intent, and then you can do a lot of stuff with this. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we are going to create a small app. Well, the small app is already created because I think, or at least for me, it will be really difficult to create the application in 45 minutes. So the idea that I thought was, I I have this project in my GitHub account, so yeah, it is the URL. Is the application is already done, so you have to include the Google Play Services lib. I wanted to use also the action bar compatibility, so I included it. And yeah, and also, so if you have a laptop here and you want to do it, I have this project. So this project is the same project, but it doesn't have the main geofence things. So I'm going to pass from one to another one to copy and paste the important things regarding geofence, and I'm going to try to explain. Okay, the first thing. This is the main structure that we are going to follow. So the different steps. And the first thing is, of course, is add the Google Play Services library. So you can get this library using the SDK manager. So download it, and then you have in this path. And yeah, so we have to import it. So we have this project that is, as you see, is broken. So I have here the Google Play Services library, and then we have to include it as a library. It's included. Yeah, it's here. So yeah, it's included. I did before, and I forgot it. So this step is done. Then we have to add this permission to the Android manifest. So move from one to another. So this is the permission that we need. Well, we need also internet permission and, well, the common things. In this application, I'm also using the Google Maps. So yeah, I have these permissions, but I'm not going to explain maybe this Google Maps stuff because it's not the case. So yeah, so I copy here, and then we move to. So this is the strategy that I'm going to follow. So here I have this tag, fix me, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to paste here. And this step is done. So now we are going to dip into the code. And the first thing we have to do is check if Google Play Services, the APK is installing in the app. So I have here also the steps that are easy for me. We have to check. So this is the function, the method. More or less, I follow the original documentation. So it's this documentation. But this is not really good. In fact, there are a lot of mistakes. Like, for instance, you can find this thing. So it's not really good. So yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. And then to another. Oh. Sorry. Okay, and here, we paste here. Oh. Okay, yeah, with this thing, we check if we have Google Play Services installed, the APK. So yeah, we have this util of Google Play Services, and then we have a result code, and this make a call to Google Play Services. And if as you can see, if the code is okay, then we can continue. If not, then we create a error dialog fragment that is made also using the get error dialog from the Google Play Services util, and yeah, when the user click, well, so this dialog, then the user can click and do something. So for instance, here there are the different results. Oh. So yeah, if we have a problem and then we show the error dialog, then Google Play Services send us an intent, an intent, and we have to check in the activity on result. And for instance, we can try to continue with the process that we were doing, like for instance, add geofences or remove geofences. This is the error dialog. So this is the dialog that we are going to use. Oops. And yeah, it's a normal dialog. So we have this dialog was created by Google Play Services. So that here we just show it. And this is the things that we have to do to check we have the Google Play Services APK installed in our application. So now we have to define the geofence storage and the geofence objects that we are going to use. So we can, to store the different geofences, we can use the SQLite or set preference or any other thing to store data. And for this app, I choose to use the set preference. Also because it's you can check that is the same in the example. So I think it's easier. So here, this is the two main classes that we are going to use. So this is the normal bin, no? With all the different things that we need. For instance, the latitude, longitude, radius, expiration, duration. And the most important thing is here, so to geofence, because from this object, the simple geofence, we create the Google geofence object. That is defined by the transition. The transition is if we want to enter, if we have the notification, the intent, if we enter to the displays or we leave from displays, the circular region is defined by latitude, longitude, and radius, and also the expiration. The expiration can be never, so it's forever. Also, the simple geofence storage is a normal, it's a class with a set preference. So we store here the different geofences with the ID and the different the values. So the latitude, the longitude, we have different methods, for instance, for get all geofences, the list of geofence, all clear. So yeah. Yeah, this step is here we have to create the geofence objects. So yeah, this is when we want to add a geofence. This is the step we are going to do right now. So here. Okay, so here in this application, we have the 2 buttons. One is add geofence, and the other one is remove. And when the user presses add, then we create a simple geofence using the latitude and longitude and the radius. The radius is defined previously. And the latitude and longitude, they are created using retrieving the data from the Google Maps, so now with a map that we have in the app. And yeah, so we set the geofence, so we create a list where we are going to have the different geofences, and we are going to have a list where, based on the IDs of the geofences, that we need to remove the geofences, because remove geofences by ID is allowed just for a list with strings. And after that, well, here we check again the service connect, and here we call to the geofence requester. So this is another class that is continuing the process. But before, here, we need to create, when we add the geofence, we need to create an intent. That this is the intent that is going to use when Google, in the intent service, so this is the receive transition intent service. This is the intent that we are going to use to receive the intent from Google Play when we enter or leave from a location. So here. With this step, we are continuing with the adding geofences, and now this is the most important thing, the most important step. That is when we send to Google Play Services the data. So the first thing is this is the first thing that we need to do, is create a new location client object. And this object is used to add geofences, to remove geofences. This is the function that is continue the process to adding the geofences. So we call to this function from the activity with the list of geofences. And here we try to, the most important thing is to request a connection with the Google, the location client that we create previously. So is this thing. Yeah, it's just simply get the location client that we create and then make a connection. This is the onConnect. When we call to connect to location client connect, we have asynchronously a call to this callback to this listener, and if we are here in this step, then we can continue, we can proceed with the adding geofences. So here, this is the final step. Yeah. When we are here, then we create the pending that we are going to use, and then with the location client, then here we add the geofence that we create before. So it's in this step when we are sending the data to Google. And of course, after we try to send the data, we have this listener. If everything is going good, then we have this response from Google with the geofence request IDs that Google has, also with the last one. And then here we can do everything that we want. For instance, here I'm calling to a listener that is in the activity. Yeah, if we wanted to add geofences, then here is the listener, the way. Or if we wanted to remove, then it's the... No, this is just that. Okay. Yeah, we have to handle the disconnection and connection error. So yeah, sometimes or a lot of times we have problems with the connection or also with Google Play services or a lot of things. So we have to handle this. This callback is called when when we have a disconnection. Both cases, if we wanted the disconnection or not. So this is going to be called when we have it, and then we have to. This flag in progress is we are adding a geofence. Then previously we set to true. So then we set to false because we don't have any operation in progress. And also the location claim to null. Yeah, here is if something. Yeah, in something weird happen. Google also sent us a call to this callback, and we check if it's possible to continue the process, if it has a resolution, and if it's possible, then we call to our on activity on result that we create previously in the main activity. So this one. And here we manage everything. So for instance, if it was possible to continue and we were adding geofences, then we can continue here with the process. Or if we were removing geofences, we can continue removing it. Yeah. Remember that we create a pending intent. Well, we have an intent service with a pending intent that we submit to Google with the geofence, and this intent is the main class that is when Google sends us the intent that we are entering in the geofence in the location or we are leaving, then Google call to this. Well, we call to this intent because we created the intent service. So we need to. So yeah, this is the intent service that we create, and then we check if the intent is correct, because we submit the place ID, the ID of the geofence, and we are going to use here. So in on-handle intent, we check if the intent is correct. If not, then here. And if it's correct, then we check the transition. We retrieve the transition from the location client. from the intent that we have. And then we have here this check. I'm also just working with the enter, not with the exit. So for me, it's just interesting the transition enter when we enter in a place. And here, Google sent us also in the intent all the geofences that we have. So we have a list of geofences. And then if we are using a list of geofences, we can check if this geofence that we are retrieving is the one that we are interested. If not, then we dismiss this geofence, or if it's the one that we want, then for instance, here I'm just showing a notification. So it's just it's this one with just the address of the geofence, and not too much. Also, we have to include the intent service, the declaration of in the under manifest. So we go here. This one. So this is the declaration of the service. And then, to stop, we have also, the same way that we add geofences, we can remove geofences. And we can do it. The process is quite similar to geofences, more or less the same, but it's removing. But we have two different ways to remove our geofences. We can use a list of geofences, a normal list. And also we can remove the geofences using the geofences that are associated to the pending intent that we used before. In this app, I'm using just the remove geofences by list, but I have the implementation of both, so we are going to use both. Well, to copy on here. So. So this is the function to remove geofences by intent. Oh, yes, before I forgot to this method. It's here in the main activity. So the same way that we add geofences when the user press the button to add geofences, we have here a method to start the process of removing geofences, and it's basically the same. So we check the service is connected, and if everything is okay, then we proceed to remove geofences by ID. So here we have the list of the geofences that we want to remove. So it's a list of the strings, and so we continue with this one. The next step is the same that we did in the adding geofences. So is get the location client. In the geofence requester. So it's the same. So we create a new object of a new location client object, and we are going to use. Here is when Oh, sorry. It's here. So this is the first way to remove geofences is using the list of string, the list of string that geofences ID. And yeah, here we do different things, but this is just regarding this app. And here, the same way that we did in the adding geofences, here we request a connection with the location client. But previously, also, I'm going to this one. So this is the same. It's a way to remove geofences, but it's using the intent that we create, the intent that all the geofences that we create previously, they are associated. So yeah, sadly the same. And to start the process, we request also the connection. So yeah, it's the same. With the location client, we try to connect. Once we try to connect, then we have the exactly the same, the connect. This is the callback that Google Play Services is going to call. And once if we have when we have the connection, then we try to continue the process. So it's once we continue the process, then here, because we said previously the operation type that we are using by intent, not by list, then yeah, one of those we call to the location client to remove geofences using the intent or using a list of geofence IDs. Of course, we have the different callbacks after the operation is okay or not. This is the callback that Google Play Services is going to call when we remove the geofences by using the list ID. So we have the same that we had when we add in the geofences. So we have the status code. If the operation is okay, then we can do something with our activity or something. In this case, I'm using a listener, and then in the activity I show something.
Maybe you want to use this?
Oh. Oh.
Just to point at people who are speaking.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Also, we have this.
If some of you have any question,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe I'm super fast or something. I don't know. Yeah, probably. Or maybe it's a mess also. This code, it has a lot of comments. So if you check in GitHub, I think maybe it's over comment. But yeah, it's just to understand everything. As before, this is the listener that we have when we try to remove geofences using the intent. So it's exactly the same. We have the status code, we check. So yeah, the same. And also we have exactly the same that we did in the adding geofences. We have to check if we, because at the end of each operation here, we request the disconnection from the location client. So this is the listener that is going to be called when we have the disconnection, when the disconnection is successful. And when the connection is failed, we have so yeah, it's the same that in adding geofences, we have, if something weird happens with managing the geofences, when we try to remove or something, then Google Play Services call to this callback, and we check if it's possible to solve, and if it's possible, then we can do something, or if not, then anything. And yeah, and it should be, because now we don't have any red mark or something, so it seems everything is okay. So now we can check to compile. Yeah. Okay, to show this with the FaceTime? Yeah. This is an experiment because we don't have something to show the device, so maybe... Oh. Yeah, there. So for instance, this is a problem that we have with the geocoder. I use geocoder to have to retrieve the streets and everything, and it's just fixed if we reboot the phone. It's not my fault. I can share you. Just a second. This is a Galaxy S3, so it's fast. Probably I'm super fast or not. I don't know. Or maybe it's a bit boring. Maybe I don't know. There are a lot of code or something, so yeah, I think the best idea is to check the GitHub here, so you can use everything is under Apache license, or I think yeah, it has a lot of comments, and if you follow the steps, I think it's quite easy. But yeah. I think 1.6 Google Play Service. Yeah. The Google Play Services, the library. Yeah. No. Just was for the demo to retrieve or to have much better locations. Here. It's because I'm not in the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi, the Air is working? Or Wooga guest? I don't know, I think Wooga guest much better. Yeah, with AirPlay, no. Forget.
And this is a good opportunity to remind for those who want to tweet. Okay, that's great.
Okay, so now, okay, so this is the small app that we are create. It's like a mirror, sorry, but yeah. So well, here you can check this is the Google map. You can check the address, the latitude, the longitude. There we have two buttons to add or to remove the location. And for instance, if we put a location here, so it's Lichtenbergstrasse 24. It should be don't show a notification or something like that. So hopefully, yes, we don't have anything. But if we go here to Wooga, Saarbrückerstrasse 37A, it's here, and we add a geofence. Oh yes. So we have here the location reminder with the street that we defined previously. Yeah, so this is an example that all the things that we can create are also, if I don't know, if we move to another place, then we can remove also the geofences, and we can add, and nothing happens. This is the old one. But if we go again to Wooga and set a new geofence, is again the location reminder is here. Yeah, so I think that's all. But also, well, this is a proof of concept. Well, not it's a demo application, but you can see, because most of you know Wunderlist. Yeah. So this was like a sexy project, because every Friday we have time to create cool stuff and these things. So once in June, we were working with this. It's not in the final version, so this is something new, but it's not released. I don't know, or we don't know if we are going to release it, because it's a product decision, so hopefully in the future. But this is super new. And then here we have the location reminder. Imagine that you want to buy fish or something like that, and then you said, okay, I have to buy fish here. Imagine this is a shop, and then we do the same. And then we have a location reminder with the typical Wunderlist sound, and here is the location reminder. And you can check here that is a new reminder, and we can set another one for this. This is tomato, and for instance, tomato is, we want to buy tomato in my city, in Madrid, in Sol. So if we check, then nothing happens because we are not here. Yeah. That's all. And yeah, I think. Yeah, this is the info. I'm going to release the slides also, but I had a problem with LibreOffice, so it was not possible to create a PDF. So I will try to do something. And yeah, I'll also put in the same page of the project, but this is the official documentation. This is the sample app that that Google released. This is much better than the official documentation, so you want to use something, follow this demo. And this is the sample that we have here. And yeah, questions and comments, and thank you.